What if the single most powerful skill that you need is not another hack, but simply learning how to be here and now? Let's learn how to quiet that racing mind. In video 1, we saw how overthinking fuels burnout. I would like you to imagine that your mind is like a snow globe, and each anxious thought shakes the glass, and it whips up a blizzard, and it blurs clarity and drains your energy. And the thing that is not always immediately obvious is that the harder you fight to clear the storm, the more it intensifies the flurry of snow. And today I'm going to show you how to settle that storm and quiet the mind by simply observing those thoughts and without any resistance, allowing that chaos to clear. And I want to clarify something. Mindfulness is not about emptying the thoughts from your head, as many people think. Mindfulness is finding a way to rewire your thoughts so that you can start lowering cortisol and sharpen your focus when it really matters. That brings you back into a calm and centered state. That allows you to interrupt those what-if spirals when they come up, and to do that before it switches on the fight and flight mode. So what we want to achieve here is to get to a place where you're a lot more creative, a lot more focused, and that you can be confident in the decisions that you make. And we're going to do this by creating a daily reset button. In other words, we're going to go through a process that's going to take you less than 10 minutes a day. And in time, it will allow you to be in a place where you always confidently can manage your state. You can always remain in a resourceful, calm, creative state. And you can do this by creating that reset button for yourself every day. Right? So that particular process has 3 parts. This first part that I want to share with you is called this tap and breath stress dissolving process. Okay, that's quite a big mouthful, but anyway, maybe in time we get a better name for it. For now, it's called the tap and breath dissolve the stress process. All right, are you ready for it? So ideally you would do this in the morning, every morning. And my suggestion is that for the next week that you try it out. Do this every morning. It's going to take you 5 to 10 minutes. And then we check in next week how much you've benefited from it. Right? The results in the past has always been amazing. And it's one of those very simple processes that really make a big difference. So what you do is first thing in the morning after you've woken up, or maybe you can do this just before you get ready for the day. But what you do is the following. You bring awareness. What I like to do is I focus on the most challenging task or experience that I have for the day. Become aware of the feelings or emotions around this. You can do it your way. You can think about how you feel right now, or you can think about what is your state or how you feel about your financial situation or anything that is a challenge for you at this stage. You can bring that side in as well. So what you do is you bring in the thoughts around that. Then the next thing we do is to calibrate what the intensity of that experience is. So for the purposes of this process, because there's nobody there with you and you're doing this all on your own, I would suggest that you don't go into emotions that are very intense. All right, so my suggestion is we calibrate from 1 to 10, 1 meaning that that emotion doesn't really bug you, or alternatively 10, that means that emotion is very intense. For the purposes of this exercise, my suggestion is let's stick to nothing more than about a 7. The minute that you feel like you're getting pulled into an emotion and you're losing control, I would suggest rather speak to a therapist or somebody that can help you with that. For the purposes of this process, I wouldn't go much higher than about 7. Right? So what we're going to do is become aware of the emotion that you're feeling, right? Become aware of where in your body you're feeling it, right? So let's say I'm feeling this emotion, it's in my solar plexus. And at this point in time, the intensity is about a 6. Right? So now what I do next is just bring my awareness where that emotion is as best you can, and then take a breath in and another short one and another short one on top of that. All right, hold it there. And we're going to tap 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And let out that breath, right? And then check in again and notice where that emotion is now. So maybe it was a 6 earlier and now it's a 4 or a 3. And so you might want to go through that process again. Breathe in, another one, and bring your awareness to where you're feeling that emotion. Tap 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and release. Now you might notice that that emotion is completely gone and it's completely resolved. And then we move on, right? So for some people, there might be a little bit of feeling left after the second one, then you can go for another round. But for most emotions, it will be between 1 and 3 rounds of that practice, and that emotion will be cleared completely. And you'll be in that place of feeling a lot more creative, a lot more focused, and you'll just have that good energy feeling about you, right? So the next thing we're going to do is the 30-second body scan. And so what we do there is just becoming aware of what's going on in the body. You don't necessarily want to change anything, just becoming aware and softening some of those experiences that you have. So you bring your awareness into your feet and you move it up your body, and you might feel that there's some areas that feel a little bit more tense, and you just notice that and allow that sensation to soften a little bit. And you continue moving throughout your body, just bringing and drawing that energetic experience into your body, right? And when you get to the top of your head, you're done, right? So all of that is going to take you less than 5 minutes a day. Then, and the next thing that we want to do is to weave mindfulness into your everyday, right? So what that means is we're going to have little snacks of mindfulness throughout the day, and that allows you to get to that place of being present in various ways. A lot of people that I speak to are quite intimidated by the idea of meditation, and I found that this micro meditation delivers as good a results for most people as far as stress is concerned, right? So it's really simple, and that means identify some activities in your life. This might be washing your hands, or it might be drinking coffee, or it might be when you're going for a walk, or anything that you do habitually. This might even include when you brush your teeth, right? What it entails is just about becoming very aware. When you're drinking your tea or you're drinking your coffee, you become aware of the aroma, you feel the warmth, and you just become very present with that experience. When you're washing your hands, become aware of the water on your hands, the warm feeling of the water on your hands. You become aware of how your hands feel when the one hand touches the other hand, and just become really aware of that experience. You can do the same thing when you have a meal. Just be in a place where you really savor and taste the flavors in the food that you're eating, and allow yourself to become present in that experience. All right, great. So we have done those techniques. Firstly, we've done the dissolve stress by tap and breathe routine. We've done the body scan, and now we've also completed micro meditation. There are 3 techniques that you can use. I encourage you to drop a comment on which technique you found the most useful. If you enjoy this content, looking forward to the next video, which is about rewiring your thoughts. So now we're really getting deep into some serious stuff. So if you're interested in learning more about rewiring your thoughts, then hit the like and subscribe button so that you don't miss video number 3. All right, so don't miss it, and I'll see you there.